Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today, courtesy of my friend Steve over at Watch Obsession, I've got this Italian micro brand. Now this is called, and you've got to bear with me on my pronunciation, Meccaniche Veneziane, and this is the Nereide model. It's basically a small Italian company which haven't been around that long, only for about 2 years, and this is one of the first models they actually made. They started like so many other brands do on Kickstarter, but now can be found on all the online auction sites and so forth. I feel this brand, they're trying to aim for a very premium feel to their entry-level watches. Basically, when you go on their website, they have a very nice website talking about heritage and Italian craftsmen. So they're trying to give you that feel of prestige at the lower level of watches. Even when you buy this watch, you get a very nice wooden box, you get a thank you letter from one of the two brothers, or both brothers, the owners of the company. And so they really are trying to make it special. Now, when I say entry level, this watch, I believe, was around about 500 euros, give or take, when it was new. So they're not super cheap, but they are, still what I'd consider affordable. So the dimensions of this watch are 42 case size, and you've got a thickness of 14.5 and lug to lug of 50. So let's zoom in on that dial, because that dial is quite interesting. I do like the markers and the hands. This high polished gold gilt handset is actually quite nice. I do quite like it. There's also plenty of lume on this watch, which is also very satisfying at this price. I do feel the date could have been done a little bit better, because the date window being at the 3 o'clock position, nothing unusual there. But what I would say is it's just a little bit small. Obviously, they can't just make it bigger because the movement has a Pacific sized disc on there, so you're limited by that. But what they could have done is maybe put half a marker there, because you have this line coming down here, which all works perfectly, but obviously it doesn't come out to the minute track like the markers. So they'd put just half a marker on there, it would also simulate that, and to me would give a more balanced dial, and possibly as well remove some of the text from down there. I do like their logo. I think it is quite nice and it looks great on the dial and allows for symmetry, but there's a lot going on here, and sometimes less is more, and I feel this is one of those occasions where that would be the case. Now, as we look at the crystal, it's got a nice dome to the crystal. It's actually a sapphire crystal with AR coating on the inside, I believe. That's why you can see that blue tint every so often. So, yeah, spot on with the crystal. It's very nice. Now we come out to the bezel. Now, red isn't everyone's, kind of ideal choice of a bezel, but to be fair, there are plenty of other colour options available on their website. One thing I would perhaps criticise is the lume pip. If they really wanted to make it in keeping with the dial, they could have perhaps used a gilt accent around instead of a stainless steel, but I'm being a little bit picky there. And after all, this is a 500 euro watch. Now, as for the action, got quite a nice satisfying click to it. Back play, there is some, but it does lock quite nicely into place when it comes round. Now, does it line up? I would say not quite. It's about a quarter, if that, a quarter of a second off, but that can be rectified. It's not the end of the world. Remember, when I've got it here, it does look worse. If I put it right in front of the camera, it looks a lot better. So, as for that, it's quite nice. It's not the best, it's not the worst. Now, case design, the actual case design and finish, I feel the case design is it's okay. There's nothing special about case design, but the finishing is quite nice. All along here, this brushwork, satinized finished, not sharp on the corners at all. There's a slightest of radius, which is quite nice. Now you've got the crown guards, and I'll go into that in a second a bit more here, but what I would say is a little bit of a negative. You have this lovely finish work here and here, and then when you look inside the lugs there, they haven't touched that, which is a little bit of a shame, but also that's quite an expensive job to do. So that's why they've cut corners there. And also this watch is available on a bracelet, which would then hide that, and I feel that's probably why they've done it. Now, as we turn the watch round, this suddenly gets a little bit more interesting. So obviously you can see this case back, display case back here. It is a screwed down type. After all, this is a 200 meter wall resistant watch, and they've done quite a nice job. I like this. It does look quite well engineered. Now, obviously the thing that's taken our attention here is this movement. Now, it does look nice. There's, you know, the rotor, I think, using the gold color has really elevated the back of this watch. It does look quite nice. Let me just clean that a little bit. The actual movement itself, now this is branded as a Swiss watch. Let me zoom in there. That's better for you. It's branded as a Swiss watch. Now the movement comes from DEPA. Now they do make some of their own movements, but I believe their lower end movements are Chinese clones. Now I can't find out for sure, but that to me looks very similar to the Seagull ST1711. So I could be wrong, but it does look very much like that. Now, I believe that's got a 42-hour power reserve, 20 joule movement. I would question if the blued screws are actually heat-treated blue or if they're painted blue, because I know Seagull have a habit of painting some of their screws sometime. So what can you do? It is the price it is. There's nothing wrong with that movement anyway, and it is quite a good looking movement at this price point. Now, as we come out here, you can see the crown is signed. Is that fully tightened up? It's tightened up all the way. When tightened up all the way, it almost lines up, to be fair, but when you have a cross for a sign, it is a lot easier to get it to line up. Now, one thing I would say, it is a screw down crown. You obviously have hacking on this watch and hand winding, but these crown guards do a fantastic job of guarding the crown, almost too good, which makes it a little bit awkward to actually grab. I would like to see either a slightly wider crown, or these crown guards maybe just come up a little bit more. So either take a little bit off there, just so, you know, if you remove that much material on there, on the underside it should be quite well protected anyway. So it just means that you'd be able to get to the crown a lot easier. Now, as we come out to the strap here, unfortunately I haven't got the original strap on here. My friend Steve swapped over to this one. I'll drop a shot in of what it looks like. The original strap does look quite nice. You also get a secondary strap as well, a rubber strap. So, you know, a bit more diver friendly if that was your intention with this watch. So, but I can understand why he's changed to this strap, because it actually does look quite nice on the watch. Let me actually show you the watch on my wrist. Sorry, I'm wearing a Marine Master 300 at the moment, the SLA 023. Now, I'll just do this off camera because it's a little bit easier to put it on. My wrist size is 18 centimeters, which is a fraction over 7 inches, I believe. And that's it on my wrist. It actually doesn't look so bad at all. I think it's not a bad looking watch. Possibly wouldn't be my first choice of colour, but, you know, each to their own. So what do you guys think? Would this be a micro brand you'd consider buying into? Because there is a lot of competition at this price point. So what do you guys reckon? For the 500 euros or so, would this be something you'd try? Again, leave any comments below and I'll try and get back to you. All the best, see you in the next video, and stay safe out there. Bye.